And afterwards, that same afternoon, a bunch of us were just sitting, having lunch, smoking a cigarette, and talking about what happened that morning. And it was a moment where really soldiers from the right, from the left, it didn't really matter where people were coming from, but we all had this really eerie, uncomfortable feeling that, wow, these are just folks our age, a kilometer away from us on the other side of the checkpoint inside Nablus, or in one of the villages, and they just want to go see the beach, or their family, or go to Jerusalem, which is a privilege that I have to do, that I have every day. And that was really a moment to understand how much this system is something that people are dependent on. No matter who they are, any people that are under such a military regime would be dependent on this, the grace of the occupier. So I don't want to take too much time. What time is it now? It's 10 to 2. Okay. So maybe I'll share a little bit about Breaking the Silenace as a group and sort of how we started. A group of about 60 soldiers from a platoon in the Nachal Brigade, one of the infantry combat units, are serving in Hebron, in the city of Hebron, during the Second Intifada. Again, between 2000 and 2003, very violent years, many casualties. They're in Hebron, one of the most complex cities in the occupied territories, the only Palestinian city that has a settlement, an Israeli settlement in the heart of it. And during this time, they're doing all the routine stuff that one does as part of this military control, but also operations or policies that were quite unique to that time period. Checkpoints, arrests, raiding homes, but also enforcing curfew on the Palestinian population. There were months on end in which people were bound to their homes under a military curfew. Arresting children, experiencing settler violence towards them and Palestinians, losing their friends, and they start to have conversations among themselves as a group, and really want to do something about their feelings and their feeling that something is wrong. And in a series of these talks, they come to a conclusion that they want to form an exhibition. They start gathering photos that they took during their time in Hebron. I have a few of these are some photos that were taken by the soldiers themselves. And alongside these photos that appear in a gallery in Tel Aviv, that they call this exhibition Breaking the Silenace, there's testimonies that they took from one another. And thousands of people show up to this first exhibition. This is 2004. Their family, friends, parliament members, younger brothers and sisters, but also other former soldiers who know these sites very well, who know these images and these policies, and tell them, guys, it's not just Hebron, it's not just your unit, what you specifically have to do, but these are policies that we also did as paratroopers in Nablus, or as in Golani Brigade in Gaza. We also enforced curfew, stood at checkpoints, arrested children. That's really when they come to this understanding that, again, it's not a unique experience, and this may be shocking to you, but many soldiers come and give testimony and think that what they did was unique to their unit. That's oftentimes what soldiers are told. You're going to this top secret mission to collect intelligence, and they discover that other soldiers have been told the same about similar experiences. And that's 2004. Most of them go on with their lives, start studying, traveling. A few of them decide to take this as a life mission. Found NGO, the Breaking the Silenace as an NGO, collect the money that they got from their military service, their grants. And pretty much since then until today, what we're trying to do is two very basic things. On the one hand, collect these testimonies, publish them for the public to know and read, and bring people, not only trying to bring Hebron to Tel Aviv, which is what they did, but also doing the opposite, bring Tel Aviv to Hebron, or bring anyone who's caring about this place and the people who live there to see the reality for themselves in tours that we guide to Hebron, the South Hebron Hills. And I think that what we do often is sort of misinterpreted, or that people don't really understand what our aim is, and sometimes as a result of that don't really understand our tactics or our strategy and why we choose to do things the way we do. As former Israeli soldiers who served in the military and who care very much about the place